Hey, good evening and welcome to this episode of TetraKey TV. Actually, I believe is episode number 207, and I also believe that Mark has just done 206, finishing a couple of minutes ago, or maybe he's still going at this point in time. We've had a bit of a communication, lack of. And to be perfectly honest, I only just realised that it was 9 PM in South Africa and now it was time to do an episode of TetraKey TV. But what I want to talk to you about is really important, because for me it's one of the fundamental underpinning blocks that you need in place to be successful. And I want to talk about how Mark and I go about doing this and where we go about doing this, and ask you, whereabouts are you going to go and do this? So your business is only really as good as the pace that your business keeps with its customers. So your business, as your customers grow, develop, become more discerning, become faster paced, slower paced, they become richer or poorer, they become married, or they have families, or they retire, or whatever it is that your customers do, become thinner, become fatter. Your business needs to keep pace with those people as they move. And that means that you've got to do two things. First of all, you've got to have a real firm finger on the pulse of who your customers are, who they are, what's happening in their world, and how they're progressing. And secondly, you need to creatively come up with new ways to serve them. Now, the problem most business owners have is they spend a huge amount of time running in circles, putting out fires and doing the same old thing in the same old way. Then when it comes to time off, they crash because they're exhausted. They almost forget work, other than maybe some of the money worries. And then once they feel refreshed, they go back into doing the same old thing in the same old way again, running in circles and never really keeping pace with their customers. And eventually they lose track. Their customers move in a direction and they keep doing what they're doing, and eventually they move apart. And so, what do you do to get inspired and creative enough to come up with new ways of serving your customers? Where does your inspiration come from? For Mark and I, our inspiration comes often from our families and from books we read, and from the great outdoors. We both love hiking, camping, and adventuring. It doesn't necessarily have to be adventurous, just going to new places and exploring, staying in new places. And our inspiration comes from going to those new places, meeting new people, identifying new problems that people have, or maybe a problem that wasn't a very big problem for a group of people now is a big problem for them now. And we get inspired by that. And so tomorrow I do an 8-hour drive to a game reserve in the east of South Africa, the northeast of South Africa. And on Friday morning, Mark drives a few hours north from where he lives, about 3 hours north. We meet up with a group of colleagues and we're going to do a 5-day hike in a big game reserve in South Africa. We're going to be sleeping in the wild, where we're going to have to stay awake for an hour at night each amongst the group of 7 or 8 of us, along with our 2 armed rangers, because we have to go and make lots of noise if we hear wild animals like lions or elephants or rhinos or giraffe or zebra or any of the other animals coming towards us, or leopards or cheetahs or all of those things, wild dogs, hyenas, all of those things that will be present. And in that time, it's all about the hiking. It's about the environment, it's about the world about us, it's about the people about us, and it's about what can we take from that environment to go and get inspired with, to step forwards, to be recharged with, to step forwards into our business. And so that's where we get our inspiration from. Do we need a holiday right now? Probably not. Could we keep trudging on and going? Definitely. But will being inspired and refreshed benefit us? Definitely. We will enter back into work next week with increased enthusiasm, energy, vigor, and energy, ready to go and tackle the world that's coming to us. So where do you get inspired from? Where do you get your inspiration and creativity from? And how do you purposefully take time out of your business to go and get inspired and to re-energize your business? You should go and put that into your diary and into your planning. And often in some of the business planning I do, putting in that re-energizing and inspiration time into my diary is the first thing that I do when planning for a year. So that's it. So if we come to you on an ad hoc basis over the next 5-6 days, I apologise. We'll try and get inspired and come to you. And if not, we will record some stuff in the bush because there may well be no phone signal. And you might get an abundance of episodes of TetraKey TV next week. Have a great day further, no matter what you're doing, and please stay awesome.